Hey,
Hi.
how good to see you in Vienna at
Amazing.
Radio Days.
I know, it's my first time. How about you?
I've been to a few, but
Okay.
I love them all. What do you
Yes.
think?
Oh, I've enjoyed it so much. Meeting lots of interesting people from all around the world. And you know, radio is such a small industry in Australia. It's nice to know that we're not existing just inside that echo chamber. There's a larger echo chamber in the world.
And there's a lot of echo here of radio voices booming all around everywhere.
True.
Hey, I loved your presentation on personal brand,
Thank you.
the spill story.
Ah.
Can you tell me that?
Well, I use this as an example of how when there is a news story that everybody's talking about, how you can do it differently using history and who you are. So you would recall when Prime Minister Abbott was replaced by Prime Minister Turnbull, that was called a spill. And remember how it was everywhere. And it's all everybody was talking about was, is there a spill coming? There's going to be a spill, rumoured spill. And of course, on those days, all of the radio shows were talking about what was happening in the cabinet room or what it's like to be sacked and then your best friend coming in and getting a job or all those sorts of things. But for me, every time I heard the word spill, all I could think of was being a mother and that we're just surrounded by actual spills all the time. And so we did a photo on what was the worst spill you've ever experienced, and I did share about how when I just had my baby and she was 3 days old and she had not been feeding, so I'd been on the breast pump for 3 days. It's not an enjoyable experience, Steve. And all I've been able to produce was 20 pathetic little mils. And on day 3, I said to my husband, darling, give her the liquid gold. She needs the breast milk, give it to her. And in a darkened room, all I could hear on the other side of the room was him attempting to prepare the bottle and then, uh-oh. And I was like, what have you done? Worst spill ever. But we had lots of spill stories. You know, the heated summer, milkshake down the back of the car, corn juice in the fridge. No one else had done that spill story, Steve.
Oh, that's something. And how did that relate to personal brand?
Well, because for me, personal brand, it starts obviously with values. It starts with your passions. That's very important, but that doesn't really set you apart from everybody else because we all kind of got the same values. We've all pretty much got the same sorts of passions, particularly on air in a market where there's a lot of shows that are the same or very similar. For me, it's about your story and what makes you who you are, the people, the places, the events that have made you who you are. And if you write all that sort of stuff down, then it's there in front of you and you ask yourself, well, how has that made me the person I am? So for me, I am a mother, and that's a fairly easy example. But, you know, you can delve a lot deeper and you can get to really some very raw, vulnerable places that sets you completely apart from everybody else.
And you came to 3 words for your personal brand.
Yes, I did. After lots of work, I've come up with SMART because I want to change the world, Steve, and particularly around gender equality. And smart people are listened to. Smart people are creative and innovative, and smart people, you know, are the ones that will change the world. So I want to be smart. This is how I want to interact with people. Fun. That's very important to me. I look for fun in every opportunity, and because fun is gratitude and joy, and I want to be an uplifting presence. I want to make a difference to someone when I say hello to them in the day. And then finally, it's compassionate, because if smart people will change the world, then I believe compassionate people will save the world. So I'm looking for kindness in life, Steve.
Well, you've had great kindnesses and great success, but there have been a few not so kind moments, like being sacked recently, and you also talked about being sacked from that very successful job at Fox FM. As a radio presenter, how has being sacked twice helped you define your personal brand?
Well, actually, I think it's the other way around, that my personal brand and the strength in the knowledge that I have, which is that I am here wanting to have that smart, fun, compassionate impact on the world, and that's everyone. So my personal brand informed how I responded to those very difficult experiences. We all have failures, we all have hard times, we all have times when things don't work out, huge disappointments, and we can choose how we wish to behave in that. And for me, that's my personal brand was my guide, that even though a job can be taken from you, and that happens to everyone in radio, and you know, that you move on, but when that happens, any kind of situation, they can't take Personal brand. Your personal brand is still there with you. Your purpose is still there with you. Your values, the person you are, still there with you. And that really was a very big support for me. It was my roadmap for how to behave. And so I'm really proud of, everything that we went through at that time. And for me, I wouldn't say that experience has informed my personal brand. I would say it's the other way around.
Well, this is an international European radio conference, lots of people from UK radio. What would you tell Christian O'Connell if you bump into him about doing breakfast on Gold FM in Melbourne?
I would tell him that they're the greatest listeners ever and enjoy it. It's a beautiful opportunity for him, and I love those listeners. So I hope he has a really great time.
Thanks, Joe.